In his life, Walt Disney became one of the greatest known motion picture producers in the world. Walt Disney was not only an animator, film producer, innovator, and screenwriter, but also an international icon. He was widely known for his countless movies and contributions to the media world in the 20th century. Walt Disney was born on December 5, 1901 in Chicago, Illinois. He later moved to Missouri and became a boy full of hopes and dreams. Drawing and painting was one of the many passions that Walt Disney had when he was younger. As his passion for drawing grew, he eventually became the drawer for the school newspaper.
Walt realized that his real dream was to be an artist, so he pursued his dream and became a newspaper artist. His art led him to scoring a job opportunity with the City Film Ad Company and used the cutout animation technique to make commercials. His cutouts were a huge success and led to the opening of his own business. He started to make cartoons and hired Fred Hardman as an employee. They both agreed that showing their Laugh-O-Grams, the name for their cartoon, in theaters would be a successful opportunity. His Laugh-O-Grams were a huge hit and decided to name his business Laugh-O-Grams. After quitting the film ad company, Walt was left in bankruptcy and moved to Hollywood wanting to become a director. Together with his brother Roy, he signed a contract with the New York cartoon distributor M.J. Winkler. Roy operated the camera while Walt did the animation. Walt hired Roland Hamilton, the first animator, and named the store Disney Bros Studio. There the first Alice comedies were made and seen in theaters in 1924. That same year, iWorks moved to California and joined the Disney Productions, and Hugh Harman and Rudolph Ising came to work for Walt too. In 1925, the studios hired an inker, Lillian Bounds, and later that year, on July 13th, Walt married her. In 1926, Walt renamed the studios to the Walt Disney Studios.
And then he created Mickey Mouse, who would become instantly famous all over the country.
In 1928, Walt invented the world-famous character Mickey Mouse on a train ride, starring him in the test screening of Plane Crazy. Mickey Mouse was a series of cartoons that was based off a pet mouse that Walt had when he was working in Laugh-O-Gram's studio. Mickey was originally named Mortimer, but he was renamed by Lillian Disney to appeal to the audience. That same year, Mickey officially debuted in the famous Steamboat Willie. Steamboat Willie is an animated short film produced in black and white, created by drawing several separate cartoons and adding them together. The cartoon stars Mickey and his girlfriend Minnie, and was one of the first cartoons with sound. It became an immediate hit. After that, Walt created several more cartoons of Mickey and even added some of his friends. The fourth Mickey Mouse cartoon that was made was The Barn Dance. Soon Mickey became nationally famous and Mickey Mouse clubs were formed all over the country. After the premiere of Steamboat Willie, film companies came rushing to Walt looking to make a deal with him. All of them wanted to own the rights to Mickey Mouse. However, Walt did not accept. In 1929, a businessman named Pat Power sold Disney a Synphone system so he could make sound cartoons. Disney was unable to find a distributor for the sound cartoons, so he released them through Pat Power's company, Celebrity Pictures. Disney returned to California with a contract and $2,500. In 1929, Disney planned on releasing Skeleton Dance as the first of the new series called Silly Symphonies, which was shown in Technicolor, a brand of new color technique that Disney held the rights to.
In 1933, The Three Little Pigs, their 36th Silly Symphony, was produced and was a major hit. After Walt and Lillian moved to Los Feliz, they gave birth to Diane Marie Disney, their first child, on December 18, 1933. Disney's staff grew quickly, and Disney Studios separated from United Artists and signed an agreement for shorts and for the production of Snow White with RKO Radio Pictures Incorporated, another film production and distribution company.
On December 21st, 1936, Walt and Lillian adopted Sharon May Disney, their second daughter. In 1937, Disney Studios invented the multiplane camera, which gave a three-dimensional illusion. His first full-length movie was Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs in 1938, which took 3 years to complete. They were running severely over their budget at about $1.5 million. However, when the film premiered, it was a national sensation and earned $8 million. It was also the first full-length animated movie in history and won an Academy Award. The Disney Studios started expanding in Burbank, California, and in the following years, they created movies such as Fantasia, Dumbo, and The Song of the South.
Throughout Walt's media life, he won 4 honorary Academy Awards, 7 Emmy Awards, and 22 Academy Awards, and was nominated 59 times. One of the Academy Awards was for his legendary creation of Mickey Mouse in 1932. This is when Walt started dreaming of an even bigger Disney property, a spectacular amusement park. Disney started to draw sketches of an amusement park in the late 1940s. He began financing for the park without Roy knowing by producing a series called Disneyland for a TV network in return for financial support for the park. Eventually, he found 244 acres of land in Anaheim, California to be the site for Disneyland. In 1954, he ordered the work on the park to begin. He had 4 themed areas created and a central area that connected them, and a steam engine running around the park. 22,000 invitations were sent out for opening day on July 17, 1955. However, 33,000 showed up with invitations. False tickets were created and sold throughout California. The perfect park Walt dreamed of turned into a disaster with large crowds, long lines, and melting asphalt. Despite the poor press it received, crowds still came, and Disney was determined to add more attractions to reduce the lines. Roy said there was no funding left, and Disney replied, "As long as there is imagination left in the world, Disneyland will continue to grow."
Disney continued to produce movies, but Walt was still set on his dream of creating a perfect park. However, due to the expenses of the first Disneyland, there was not enough funds to purchase more property in California to expand. By the late 50s, Disneyland was far too established to add to the property, and there was little left to do to make it better. Since Disneyland was doing so well, they wanted to expand the park, not to different places in California, but across the country. Walt started looking for a new place to make the park on the East Coast. In the year 1965, Walt Disney bought land in Orlando, Florida, where Disney World was created. Walt thought that Florida would be perfect for his plans of Disney World because the weather is ideal for an amusement park and the land was mostly flat, which would make it easier to build on. He bought about 43 square miles, making this one almost 150 times larger than his original park at Disneyland.
As the days went on, Walt's health got worse and worse. He would regularly go to the hospital with constant colds and sinus infections. His breathing became terrible and difficult. This only motivated Walt to get his plans done before his health would get so bad he would have to stop. On November 2nd, Walt went to the doctor to get x-rays taken. His doctor found out that Walt had lung cancer. The two of them scheduled a date to have lung surgery. The doctor would remove Walt's left lung on November 7th. Even with the surgery, his family was told he would only have 6 months to 2 years left to live. This didn't stop Walt's need for production. When he was discharged from the hospital, he went straight back to the studios to work on the parks. Even though Walt was weak, he told everyone he was fine and they worked as though it was a normal day.
Walt Disney is a legend and an animation hero of the 20th century. His worldwide popularity was based on the ideas his name symbolizes. Disney means imagination, creativity, optimism, and self-made success in the American tradition. He made great advances in the media world and brought us closer to the future. He took his dreams and made them come alive. Disney means magic, and he brought the magic alive into the screen. There will never be any man as great as Walt Disney.